Well, hey there. Welcome back to Q Live. So good to have you again. My name is Bill Selleck, pronouns are he, him. I am the Director of Technology at Hillbrook School, also the chair of the Communications Committee, the ComCom, and we run Q Live. So as you can see behind me, I'm actually in my office, but it looks like I'm at Spring Q in Palm Springs, about to register. Oh, is that John Stevens back there? There it is. Hey, John. But we're not here to talk about John. We're here to talk with Steph. So excited to have you here. How are
Thank
you?
you so much. I'm doing well. My name is Steph Rothstein, she, her, and you can see my contact info there on Twitter. I'm so happy to be here. My current position is I'm the EdTech TOSA in Santa Clara Unified School District, but it's a new space for me. I haven't been in a new job in quite a while. So I came from not too far from where Bill is in Los Gatos, and now I'm in a new school district happily serving 30, soon to be 31 schools as an EdTech TOSA.
That's awesome. Um, you have some presentations at Fall Q.
I do. I'm so
Walk us
excited.
through what you're talking about. Walk us
I'm
through what
super
matters to
excited.
you.
I'm co-presenting lots of stuff, and it's actually the way that I love to work. I love having thought partners, so all of mine are being co-presented this year. And I don't know, there's a joy, a safety, an excitement around that, around getting to learn from other people as I present as well. So one of them is building connection using Google Tools, and I'll be presenting that one with Becky Lim. She is awesome. She's a coach and she lives on the East Coast in Chicago. And I'll be presenting another session on coaching specifically. So this one is also with Becky Lim, but also with Bonnie Chalette, who recently started working for the Louisiana Department of Education. Super excited. She and I met as Google innovators in Singapore together. And that one is a session to help support coaches who are interested in being coached themselves or going through a design thinking process to figure out how can we improve our own coaching practice and coaching cycles, and how can we better serve the communities that we are working in. And we all serve different schools and populations, so I thought it would be really interesting. My background is high school, but now I'm serving a K-12 district. Becky's elementary, and Bonnie worked with K-12, but now she's at the Department of Ed site, space. So we all have different backgrounds in coaching.
Nice.
The
I'd love to hear
third,
more about that, actually. Hang on, hang on.
yeah, sure,
I'm going to be a little selfish here. I wanted to learn
do
more
it.
about that. I was actually just coming off a call for the first time. I'm working with a leadership coach. It sounds so fancy. That's with her name's Amy Giles. She's an extraordinary human. So I want to learn something, like share with us a little bit, like what are you going to be sharing in that session about? How do you, as a coach, as a supervisor, as an administrator, what are some tricks for coaching people?
Oh,
What do you
happy
got?
to. Okay, so we are going to actually take people through a design thinking sprint during the session, and Bonnie and I have done some previous presentations on this and absolutely love it. And usually, what we do is we model it together. So we actually model what it looks like to go through a design thinking sprint, paired with, if you are not familiar already with, Google for Education has a coaching certification. So all three of us earned that coaching certification. And so we'll be talking through and using some of the supports that come out of that coaching certification. There's a book that goes along with it. And utilizing that to help people kind of get an understanding of what does a 6-week coaching cycle look like. And then in terms of some tips and tricks, talking about how is it that you really hone in on one specific thing to work with and practice with someone, and what is it that is going to be their identifiers of success, or of the ability that this actually has made an impact. I think it's really challenging right now when you're working with educators. There's so much. I mean, there's always been a lot, but it's like beyond a level of comprehension of
So
how much
much.
people are expected to do. And
Yeah.
I even find when I'm working now at the district level, right, all of a sudden I'm getting like 20 initiatives being put in front of me. So for me as a coach, my goal, my hope is to help other coaches and the people I'm working with pare it down. How do we focus on one thing in front of us? Whether that be for a 6-week or a 30-day cycle, and figuring out what works for the people that you're working with. doing that, figuring out, do I need to continue that one for 30 more days or 6 more weeks? Or do we pick something new? And then how to figure out what are the key tenets that actually will lead to some feelings of motivation and success for people. And then we pair that with how do we model what we expect of others. And we talk a lot about how to do that too.
I love that. I also love that it's not just like a year-long thing.
No.
Right? It's concrete. It's, 2 months or less.
Yes.
Right?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I find like you can have big, giant goals, but I think when you're talking about people in the classroom working every single day with students, a big giant goal is lovely, but we need some steps to get there. And it's really hard. Like those things often feel unattainable. And so while I love having them out there, I personally, and in all the people that I've worked with, the thing that has actually moved us along is having some of those steps to move us along, right? Just like scaffolding with students. So you don't just say to a student, like, jump to that end thing. I'll be here. Like, let me know when you're done, right? We need some pieces to help guide us through the process. So
hope you learn how to multiply. Good luck with that.
Good luck. Yeah. Bye. Yeah. See ya.
Yeah. By the way, if you just Google for education coaching, like that, the resources pop right up.
And the resources that are there, honestly, whether or not you do the certification, one of the things that we'll talk about in our session is the resources are there and free. And one of the things I've recommended at all the schools that I've visited is using those resources. They're so valuable. They guide you through, as a coach, a year-long process where you can read a book if you want to do a book study with people. You can participate in, how do you actually look at what are the needs of the people that you work with? And they give you cool pieces like doing gripe jams and other specific tools that you can use. So we're going to showcase some of those during the session too.
So cool.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm going to actually look into that, being what's it called? A Google for Education certified coach?
Yes. And it's a newer one. It actually came out of it'll guide you through the history of what it used to be, and then it was enveloped by Google and expanded upon it. And it's I think that it's a smaller, tight-knit community because it just started, but it really, the information in it is super valuable.
Yeah. Well, and as you're, for those that are clicking and Googling along with us, there's kind of 4 parts to it. And the first part is completing the coaching curriculum. And without even having to go through any of the certifications or assessments or any of it, you can just go through the curriculum, learn some stuff and take what you want.
Yeah. That was super helpful for my previous district. It was a piece I recommended, even as people in my own district. It was a smaller district before, and they were thinking about moving into becoming a TOSA, or they were interested in doing it. And so I recommended that they look at that as a way to support other people. So if that is of interest to you, please, come to our session, or you can watch the recording. I'd be happy to help you with that.
Yeah. Very, very cool. Well, so as we wrap up, definitely want to make sure people know how to find you. But before we do that, give a quick little shout out to the book you contributed to. You and a handful of my favorite humans.
I'm super excited. This will be my first time at the Meet the Authors because this is the first time I'm in a book. So the book that I contributed to is, it was curated by George Koros, and it's called Because of a Teacher. And I am super proud of it. So there are 15 amazing contributors that are in the book. I feel really humbled and very excited to be a part of the book with them. The book is in 3 parts. So the first part is who is a teacher that you admire and why. The second is who's an administrator that you admire and why. And the third is the part that I wrote in, and it's what advice would you give to your first year teacher self? And so it really does kind of hit at people in all different areas or facets of education. It's built as the way that George described it when we were going to write was chicken soup for the teacher soul. So it's built around stories that are meant to inspire. And I personally have read it. I didn't know what the other people were contributing. I found it so meaningful and helpful in my own journey as I move into educational leadership roles, hearing what people admire in administrators, also hearing what people value in teachers that they had when they were young or teachers that they taught with, and then thinking about how you enter into this profession and some of the things I wish I would have known or lessons that I've learned from my time. It's a book that I think can appeal to everyone. So I'm proud to be part of it and excited to share during the author segment. So
yay, awesome.
Us.
Yeah. So if you don't know about Meet the Authors, I'm wondering if I have like a little slide for it.
Yeah,
I have a totally rad GIF.
Either.
Let's just do that while I look
like
for the Meet the Authors. Here it is, Meet the Authors. If I was better on top of it, I would have cut right to that. Yeah, so be sure and join us for that. Was that Katie and Glenn?
Yeah, Katie will be there as well. I think she's talking about one of her books, and she's also in the Because of a Teacher book as well.
Oh, fantastic. Good. Yeah. Awesome. Well, Steph, how do people find you?
Oh, find me. So my there is my Twitter. It's also my website. So you can find me at stephrothedu.com. You can find me there at Twitter, Instagram, and please connect with me, because my favorite thing, as I had mentioned, is having thought partners. Like my how might we, for my own life, is how might we make education more collaborative and less competitive. So come join me. I would love to collaborate with you and connect.
Love that so much. Awesome. Well, Steph, thank you so much for joining us for Q Live. And for all of you, thank you for tuning in to another Q Live.